Morning to all of you. This is Dr. Pallavi Gupta. As you know, I am teaching you election law. Today I am going to teach you what is recriminatory petition. Recriminatory petition. I will throw some light what is this petition, and we'll discuss section 97, and we'll also discuss the circumstances in which the recriminatory petition may be filed and when it will be filed, and the verification and security of the recriminatory petition. And of course, we'll discuss certain case laws also. Yes. Regarding the meaning of recriminatory petition, it has been mentioned that when a composite relief is sought in an election petition, in addition to the election of written candidate declared void, and that other candidate at the election is declared elected in place of written candidate. Meaning thereby, when a composite relief or additional relief we sought in an election petition to the effect that in addition to the election of the written candidate being declared void, some other candidate at the election may be declared elected in place of the written candidate. So, in such a election petition, the written candidate whose election has been challenged or any other respondent to the petition may recriminate and give evidence to prove that the election of such other candidate in whose favor the declaration has been claimed would have also been void. And such a recrimination will not lie in an election petition where the only relief claimed is that the election of the written candidate may be declared void. So normally there is a claim, a single claim that the election of the written candidate may be declared void. In addition to that, if additional relief is sought that the election of the written candidate being declared void, some other candidate at the election may declare elected in place of the written candidate. So for this, that candidate has to give the evidence or to prove that the election of the other candidate in whose favor the declaration is made is void. So this is called as a recriminatory petition. So I will discuss section 97 first. What it says? It says that section 97 subclause 1 says when in an election petition a declaration that any candidate other than the candidate has been duly elected is claimed, the written candidate or any other party may give evidence to prove that the election of such candidate would have been void if he had been the written candidate and a petition had been presented calling in question his election. The proviso of this section says that the written candidate or other party, the written candidate or such other party shall not be entitled to give such evidence unless he has given notice to the High Court of his intention to do so within 14 days from the date of commencement of the trial, and he has also given the security or further security referred to in section 117 and 118 respectively. Section 97 subclause 2 says that every notice shall be accompanied by a statement and particulars required by section 83 in case of an election petition, and shall be signed and verified in the like manner as election petition. So this is the language of section 97. So before going ahead, I would like to discuss a case first. In the case of Jabbar Singh versus Genda Lal, the appellant had won the election by 2 votes. At the recounting ordered by the election court in the trial of election petition, it was found that 10 ballot papers in favor of the respondent had been improperly rejected, and 4 ballot papers in favor of the appellant had been improperly accepted. At this stage, the appellant urged before the court that there had been improper rejection of his votes and improper acceptance of the votes of the respondent as well, and that such votes should also be scrutinized. In the absence of any recriminatory petition from the appellant, his prayer was not accepted and the respondent was declared elected by a margin of 12 votes. Supreme Court upheld the view of the court. So here this case was the conclusion regarding the recriminatory petition, what it happened. So here I would like to say that the circumstances in which the recriminatory petition may be filed, that is the candidate can recriminate, means give the evidence of proof when the additional relief has been claimed, or composite relief has been claimed, that the election of written candidate declared void and other candidate should declare duly elected. And second, when the election of the written candidate has been challenged, when the election of other respondent has been challenged, recriminatory petition cannot be there when the only relief has been claimed. So these are the circumstances in which the recriminatory petition may be filed, means there should be additional, composite or double relief claimed. And regarding the nature, scope and applicability of section 97 of RP Act, I would like to discuss the observation or the decision of Supreme Court, majority decision of Supreme Court held in Jabbar Singh versus Genda Lal. This is in the case of a petition where the only claim made is that the election of written candidate is void, the scope of the inquiry is clearly limited by the requirement of section 100 subclause 1 subclause D itself. The scope of inquiry is limited with that. What section 100 subclause 1 subclause D says? It says that the result of the election, in so far it concerned a written candidate, has been materially affected by the improper acceptance or any nomination or by any corrupt practices committed in the interest of the written candidate, by the improper reception, refusal, or rejection of any vote, or the reception of any vote which is void, or by any non-compliance with the provision of the Constitution of this Act, or any rule or order made under this Act. So, the scope of inquiry is clearly limited by the requirement of Section 100, Subclause 1, Subclause D, with respect to the petition, where the only claim made is that the election of the written candidate is what? The inquiry is limited because Section 97 Subclause 1 has no application to the case falling under Section 101 Subclause D Subclause 3. That is Subclause 3 says that the result of the election, insofar as it concerned a written candidate, has been materially affected by the improper rejection, refusal, or rejection of any vote, or the reception of any vote which is void. So the scope of the inquiry is limited because of this simple reason. Means what the clause required is to be considered is whether the election of written candidate has been materially affected and nothing else. If the result of the inquiry is in favor of the petitioner who challenged the election of the written candidate, the court has to make a declaration to that effect, and that declaration brings to an end the proceedings in the election petition. So this is regarding the single claim when it is made in a election petition. It is a limited scope under Section 91 and which is related to Section 101 Subclause D Subclause 3. There are cases in which the election petition makes a double relief, composite relief or additional relief. It claims that the election of the written candidate is void and also asks for a declaration that the petitioner himself or some other person has been duly elected. It is in regard to such a composite case that the Section 100 as well as 101 would apply. Section 101 says that the grounds for which a candidate other than the written candidate may be declared to have been elected if any person who has lodged a petition, in addition to calling a question the election of a written candidate, claimed a declaration that he himself or any other candidate has been duly elected. This means for double relief, for additional relief, for the composite relief, it has been asked under Section 100 as well as Section 101. Both sections will apply in respect of the additional claim for a declaration that some other candidate has been duly elected. That Section 97 will come into picture. Section 97 Subclause 1 allow the written candidate to recriminate and raise pleas in support of his case that the other person in whose favor a declaration is claimed by the petition cannot be said to be validly elected, and these would be pleas of the attack, and it would be open to written candidate to take these pleas, because when he recriminate, he really becomes a counter petitioner challenging the validity of the election of the alternative candidate. So the result of the Section 97 Subclause 1 is that in dealing with a composite election petition, the court inquire into not only the case made out by the petitioner but also the counterclaim made by the written candidate. If the written candidate does not recriminate as required under section 97, then he cannot make any attack against the alternative claim made by the petition. In such case, inquiry would be held under section 900 only. As so far as the validity of the written candidate selection is concerned, if as a result of the said inquiry declaration is made that the election of the written candidate is void, then the court will proceed to deal with the alternative claim. But in doing so, the written candidate will not be allowed to lead any evidence because he is precluded from raising any plea against the validity of the claim of the alternate candidate. Section 97 subclause 1 gives an opportunity to the written candidate to dispute the validity of any votes which is cast in favor of the alternative candidate, or it gives opportunity to plead for a validity of any vote cast in his favor which has been rejected. But if by his failure to make recrimination within the time as required under section 97, that is 14 days, the written candidate is precluded from raising any such plea at the hearing of the election petition, there will not be any wrong if the court proceed to deal with the dispute under section 101 subclause A on the basis that the other votes counted by the returning officer were valid votes and the votes in favor of the written candidates were invalid. What happened in this case, I have already discussed. Now the next case, that is the T.A. Ahmed Kabir versus A.A. Abis. After the Zavir case, there was the several, this question was brought for the consideration by the Supreme Court larger bench or larger constitutional bench in number of the cases like Aniruddha Prasad versus Rajeshri Saroj Das, Bhagmal Prabharam, Arun Kumar Bose versus Mohammad Furqan Ansari, Annie Horo versus Lender Thiru, and so many cases. So, analyzing the majority decision of the Constitutional Bench in Jawar's case, in light of the cases which I have already discussed right now, the Supreme Court sum up the latest position of the law on the recriminatory petition. In number 1, in an election petition wherein the limited relief sought means only claim is made, wherein the limited relief sought for is the declaration that the election of written candidate is void on the ground under section 100 subclause 1 subclause D subclause 3 of the Act, or the scope of inquiry shall remain confined to only two questions. Number 1, finding out any votes having been improperly cast in favor of the written candidate. Number 2, any votes having been improperly refused or rejected in regard to any other candidate. In such a case, an inquiry cannot be held into, and the election petition decided on the finding number 1 that any votes have been improperly cast in favor of the candidate other than the written candidate, or B by or the number 2, any votes were improperly refused or rejected in regard to the written candidate. On these 2 points, inquiry shall be limited. Now, the point number 2, or the observation of Supreme Court. Second, a recriminatory, or we can say a recrimination by the written candidate or any other party can be filed under section 97 subclause 1 in case where in an election petition An additional declaration is claimed that any other than the written candidate has been duly elected. Point number 3. For the purpose of enabling an inquiry that any votes have been improperly that any vote in have been improperly refused or rejected in regard to the written candidate. I repeat this question. This point, point number 3, for the purpose of enabling an inquiry that any votes have been improperly cast in favor of any candidate other than the written candidate, or any vote have been improperly refused or rejected in regard to the written candidate, the court shall acquire jurisdiction to do so only on two conditions being satisfied. A. The election petition seeks a declaration that any candidate other than the written candidate has been duly elected over and above the declaration that the election of written candidate is void. B. The recrimination petition under section 97(1) subclause 1 is filed. Now point number 4. A recrimination petition must satisfy the same requirement as that of a election petition in matter of the pleading, signing and verification, as an election petition is required to fulfill within the meaning of section 83 of the act and must accompanied by the security or the further security referred to section 117 and 118 of the act. Point number 5. The limitation on inquiry is attracted when the validity of the votes is to be gone into and adjudged, meaning thereby the question of improper reception or rejection of any vote or reception of any vote which is void is to be gone into. This inquiry will not be called when there is an error of counting of votes. A case of error in counting vote would fall within the purview of section 100 subclause 1, subclause D, subclause 3 and subclause 4. So this was the nature, scope of the recriminatory petition which is discussed under to this case. I would like to discuss, yes, this is the here I have mentioned the 5 points. A limited relief, short this thing, and recrimination can be filed. Inquiry whether votes cast improperly satisfy same requirement. Question of improper votes is to be gone into. These are the 5 points on which the Supreme Court observed the nature, scope of the recriminatory petition. And now I will take up the next case, that is the Srimati Neema Bikram Verma versus Bal Mukund Singh Gautam. In this case, the appellant had won the election from 2001 in Dhar Assembly constituency at the general election to the Madhya Pradesh Legislative Assembly in 2008, just by one vote. Her election was challenged, and in that election petition she also filed a recriminatory petition against the first respondent. The single judge trying the election petition dismissed the recriminatory petition, holding that the pleading in that petition did not raise any cause of action. On the matter being taken by the written candidate to the Supreme Court, the apex court restored the recriminatory petition by the consent of the parties. During the trial of the petition, the single judge again dismissed the recommendatory petition on an application being filed by the petitioner before the High Court under Order 6, Rule 16 of the CPC. The written candidate again approached the Supreme Court, and the apex court again restored the recommendatory petition, observing that the single judge should not have entertained the first respondent application for dismissal of the recommendatory petition when the Supreme Court had restored it by the consent order and directed the single judge of the High Court to decide the recommendatory petition. And in the next case of the Arikala Reddy versus Venkata Ram Reddy, Supreme Court further clarified that eh, by saying that Section 97 allowing the written candidate to recriminate and raise counter pleas comes into play only in a composite election petition where a declaration has been sought that the election of the written candidate be declared void and the petitioner or some other candidate may be declared elected. Such pleas of the written candidate under Section 97 should be tried after trying the claim of the election petition for declaration of election of the written candidate as void under Section 100. First part of the inquiry in regard to the validity of the election of the written candidate has to be tried within the narrow limit prescribed by Section 100, subclause 1, subclause 2, subclause 3, while the latter part of the inquiry is on the broader basis as per Section 101, subclause A. In case no recrimination is sought for, no inquiry shall be made under Section 101, subclause A. So, meaning thereby for recriminatory petition, candidate has to file the election petition section 100 as well as section 101. Now, when a recommendatory petition has to be filed, as notice of such a recommendation a notice of such a recommendation must be given to the High Court by the written candidate or any other respondent within the 14 days from the date of the commencement of the trial of the election petition, as mentioned in the proviso of Section 97, subclause 1. For this purpose, the trial of a petition shall be deemed to commence on the date fixed for the respondent to appear before the High Court and answer the claim made in the election petition, as it is explained under Section 86, subclause 4. In the case of Anvari Vasavaraj Patil case, the Supreme Court held the notice of recommendatory petition must be filed within 14 days from the commencement of the trial, and Section 5 of the Limitation Act does not apply in relation to such notice, as the Representation of People Act 1951 requires recommendation notice to an election petition. The recommendatory notice being thus comparable to an election petition, and a notice given beyond that said period of 14 days shall be summarily rejected by the court. And further it was elaborated that any delayed notice will disentitle the party to give any evidence in recrimination. So this is all about when the recommendatory petition filed. Now, the verification and security of the recommendatory petition under Section 97, subclause 2. It's a very clear written there that every notice of the recommendation shall be accompanied by a petition in the same form as an election petition and shall also be signed and verified in the like manner as the election petition, and a security deposit of rupees 2000 will also be have to be made by the party filing the recommendatory petition within the period of 14 days from the date of the commencement of the trial. He also be liable to make such further security deposit as the High Court may deem necessary during the course of trial. As mentioned, the proviso of the section 97 uh, and the initial security of rupees 2000 should be deposited by the recommended at the time of giving the notice of recommendation itself, though the taking of evidence in recommendation may be postponed. Preliminary directions for the discovery, inspection of the documents, etc., are given long before the evidence is taken. The proviso of section 97 subclause 1 says that the recommendator shall not be entitled to adduce evidence unless he makes the security deposit, which is referred to section 117 and asked if further asked by the High Court under 118. So this is all about recommendatory petition. In fact, this is a petition like a election petition which has to be filed within the time to the High Court along with the election petition. Here the remedy is relief is asked under section 100 as well as section 101 itself, and in fact it is a double relief, that the election be declared void, the election of the returned candidate be declared void, and he or other candidate be declared duly elected candidate. So this is all about, and we have discussed the scope nature of the recommendatory petition as well. The next topic for the lecture is the withdrawal, abatement and appeal of election petition in the next lecture. Thank you very much for watching me and listening me.